All right, well, here we go. Glenn and Ben coming at you from different angles. How you going, Ben?
Good. How are you?
Good. What's going on? You look a little offside there, mate.
Yeah, I've had to switch it up to the old mighty iMac instead of my MacBook Pro because I updated the operating system and now nothing works. Don't listen to the hype. Don't update your operating system.
And listen to the crispness of that audio.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe on
Cool.
this computer I could plug the mic in and see if that works.
I mean, you could try,
That
but
improves it.
whatever. I mean, we're already off and running. But all right, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it live,
We're gonna
people.
do it.
Tech check 1 2 sibilance.
How about that?
Is that plugged in?
Is that it's plugged in?
I think that
Can you
sounds
hear me?
better. But if you sit back, you know,
How's that?
I think that's good.
Uh, can't tell. Yeah. Hopefully it's using it.
I can't really tell the difference. Anyway, stuff we should have done before recording.
Output device. No, let's have a look. It's set output device. It's set to the. I can't set it to the. I've done that before. I accidentally set the mic to the output device.
Oh, yes.
Input volume.
Well, if nothing
Internal
else,
microphone.
this
No,
is
Yeti
this
microphone.
is one way to stretch a video out.
How about now?
I think so. You got to talk for me to be able to tell.
Yeah, I was just trying to make sure that it was actually on.
Yeah, no, that sounds better. It's not as tinny as it was before. I mean, I don't know if Anyway, let's just push on, shall we?
Let's do it.
We're here to react, review Babylon, the new Damien Chazelle movie, the much hyped and the massive epic loss of a film in America. Has lost a lot of money apparently, and it's been completely
Really?
slammed by the critics. And I got to tell you, I fucking love this one, Ben. I adore this one, and I cannot wait to see it again.
Yeah. I don't know about that. Maybe I watched parts of it again. Look, I really liked it. I thought it was far superior to La La Land,
Yep.
which only really had a couple of scenes that I enjoyed, and the rest were like a bit of a chore.
Yep.
This was a bit of a return to form, to the kind of Whiplash form.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I think the only thing that bothered me, as I mentioned to you last night,
Yep.
was the little end bit of all of the.
The final act
it's
montage.
Yeah, like not even that. Like,
Yeah.
but it's always one of those things, when these people do top 100 films of all time, and all the films are from the last 10 years,
Yeah.
and you're like, you fucking
Well,
fuck you piece.
I mean, just to give some context to people, like there is an underlying theme throughout the whole movie about progress in Hollywood and how it begins with the talkie movies coming along and putting an end to the silent era. And I guess what he's trying to do with that montage is just paint it for the people that are not picking up the subtext that, progress, whether it's
That
good or
times
bad,
change.
times change. And like from everything, to Avatar and Terminator and all these evolutions of cinema, he just puts it on the screen blatantly. And I just think that's for the people that maybe didn't pick up that subtext going through the movie. I
Yeah,
agree, a little bit on the nose, but it was such a demonstration of sight and sound that I was completely roped up in it. Like the whole movie, you say Whiplash, he made that movie. This movie moves like Whiplash. Like it is it's a fast moving movie. And 3 hours to me, yes, way too long. However, didn't bother me. Like I could have just kept watching.
yeah. Look, and I think I think, as once again, as I said to you as we left the cinema, that Baz Luhrmann should be shitting his pants right about now,
Yeah.
because someone has done that kind of opulent, over the top, glitz and glamour Hollywood thing better than he ever could,
That's
or
right.
at least
So
has done in the past.
So if you
Uh,
combine Moulin Rouge and The Great Gatsby with Caligula, then you're starting to get an idea of what this movie is, because
and that
it's
doesn't even really come close.
no, I mean there's a lot of debauchery going on here, and I was just within the first 10 minutes, I was already shocked, and I was already like thinking, "Fucking hell, where is this movie going?" I wasn't anticipated it to be so edgy and envelope pushing.
Yeah, yeah. Like it does. For me, it felt a bit like Under the Silver Lake. like in that kind of, you know, the mythical nature of Hollywood.
Yeah.
And how it has all these kind of, you know, these hidden, and like, you know, they spell it out for you in the film, but hidden depths. They literally go down into a subterranean basement at one point. Like they go down to the 9 levels of hell.
And we were talking on a recent video with the Boneheads how there's this ongoing motive of movies doing subterranean tunnels and shit lately, and we didn't even, you know, consider that this one would be doing the same thing. But that particular moment is just full on. But you know, and we don't want to lay out too many spoilers for people because it is a big screen movie experience that everyone should, you know, maybe consider seeing.
I don't even know if there is anything to spoil. Like,
well, I know
this movie is not. It's not. Yeah, it doesn't hinge on a plot twist of any sort.
No, but what I'm getting at is, but from my point of view, I was shocked by several things along the way, and I would not want to have known those things going into it. Right, so I don't want to spell out some shocking moments for people because I want them to discover them.
Is one of those moments Tobey Maguire's teeth?
No, but Tobey Maguire certainly leads us into some really fucked up stuff.
Yeah, but I think the best makeup effect in the film is Tobey Maguire's teeth.
Oh, I know.
They were magical. Magical teeth.
But yeah, like, story wise, it is essentially almost an R-rated version of Singing in the Rain. It's all about, you know, that 1920s era of Hollywood when the talkies come along, and the actors that were once A-listers are now sort of fading out, and they're faced with that crisis of aging out of Hollywood and what to do. Blah, blah, blah.
And it does, like, the whole movie is like a parallel to Singing in the Rain, and they do make that analogy, like that.
Yeah,
Singing in the Rain is kind of based on, you know, all of them.
Yeah, that's right, and
all the characters in the film. I think that's his.
And it's not a case of plagiarizing. It's like they actually spell it out for us in the movie that yes, Singing in the Rain is what we're going for here. But I don't know what like performances wise, like, it's pretty amazing. I think Margot Robbie's never been better. She is just insane in this movie. Brad Pitt too is pretty good. And you frozen right now? You're frozen. Talking to myself. Okay. I love technology, but not as much as you see. Still love technology. Always and forever. Welcome back.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, good. Hello.
Hey. that little break in time there was probably about 20 minutes worth.
Unbelievable.
So I was talking about Margot Robbie. Quite an incredible performance, I thought, and, you know, Brad Pitt was solid too. But what did you make of the performances in the cast?
Yeah, they were all great. I was quite disappointed to learn this morning that they were all in Sydney and we didn't get any of them in Melbourne. Only
I
Sydney
know.
got them. They couldn't have delayed the Melbourne screening by a day and had them down here for it. So we had it on like Tuesday instead of Monday.
Well, firstly, let me just say that right now your audio is fucking shocking, but that's okay. You just sound like you're trapped in the boot.
It's the phone audio.
That's okay. They can still hear you. And I kind of agree. Usually with these premieres, they split the cast between the two cities. So, you know, one city gets 2, the other city gets another 2. I mean, I don't care for that stuff anyway. Like, I'd rather just go and see the movie Get Out. You know, I don't particularly like being with the crowds, but the crowd certainly dressed up for it. I was looking at some social media posts for people that attended in more of an influencer capacity, and they were thanking their stylists, their makeup artists, their nails, like, and their dresses. I'm like, Jesus Christ! Like, I went as I am. You know?
Yeah. I hope it doesn't damage their ego, but I did not see a single person there that I recognized as being an influencer.
No, not at all. I mean, there are a few familiar faces, I guess, mainly because I kind of occupy the social media space, I suppose. But look, I kind of head down and just sort of, you know, focus on the movie and don't pay attention to all that. But what did you think of the cast? Because this is a massive ensemble. Not only the lead players, great names, but it's like a who's who of celebrities to spot throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, and a couple of Aussies in there, which was great. Samara Weaving turned up, and Phoebe Tonkin, of all people, in like I guess that's what being on the originals gets you. You get to be you get to play a drunken crack whore for 5 minutes in a Damien Chazelle film.
Yeah, but then you had people like Spike Jonze was in there.
Jones was great.
Eric Roberts was in there. Like, I love that guy can bounce from the D-est of grade movies into the A-est of grade movies.
And perfectly cast too, Eric Roberts. Perfect.
Totally. And then, there's a lot of names that will leave for people to discover. But I was quite surprised when all these people just popped up. Some of them just fleeting moments. But Margot Robbie, excellent. Lucas Haas, I gotta say, Lucas Haas. I love watching him in anything, and he was great in this.
Yeah, and looking very different. Ethan Suplee turned up.
Looking almost fat again.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
Showed up. But it was it was pretty impressive. Like, it's a pretty, like, just on the scope. Like, it definitely, for me, it rivals West Side Story in terms of the scope of it.
Yep.
But done quite. I'd be interested to know the budget and the budget allocation, because I think he kept it a lot more contained than West Side Story, yet seemed to have even more people.
Yeah. It was very strategically orchestrated. The first hour and a half of the movie, like I said, moved like lightning, but it was full of so many camera cuts to the most intricate, up close, wide angle. This went from one style to another, in and out of performance, dancing, and debauchery, and all this drug taking, and then you've got these movie sets out on the open plain with literally hundreds of cast members in formation on this massive backlot. It was just so brilliantly executed in that sense, because the second half of the film took a whole different direction and didn't have that chaos that the first half did.
Yeah. I did have a couple. I was just trying to find the IMDb, so I don't look like an idiot for not knowing some of the character names. But there were a couple of things that I was, in hindsight, disappointed by, and I picked up on a couple of them while I was watching the film. But I thought, like, the character, the big character that was really underplayed, who's supposedly a main character, was the Sidney Palmer, the Dervin a character, the black musician,
the jazz.
And the same with, and basically, like, it was weird what they focused on and what they didn't. Like, Brad Pitt's always in his lavish mansion. They never show where Margot Robbie lives outside of that first slum that she comes from with her passed out father.
Yeah.
They never show. So there's no sense of their career progression or their success progression, except when they're terrified of losing it, but you don't get any sense of what they're terrified of losing.
Yep.
The same with the kind of arguably the main character, Manny Torres, played by Diego Calva. Like, you see his house, but you never get any idea about. You don't get any idea about what he was living, how he was living before he kind of hits it kind of big. As opposed, he becomes like a studio executive and like the creative driving force.
Yeah, sorry, your camera's doing the weirdest things right now, dude. You're in slow motion and it's catching up with you, and it's just this is a cesspool of a video. I can tell you. I don't know where you are, and I don't even know if that's going to translate on the actual produced video. But for a minute there, you were going in slow motion, but your voice was off 2 minutes ahead of you. Yeah. So you freeze framing, and oh Jesus,
the machines are against me today, I'm afraid.
They are. Look, I take everything you said on board, and I agree with you for most of it. However, I think that the Manny character and the Sydney character both still played pivotal roles in that underpinning story of Hollywood being built on white privilege, if you want. And there's probably the most distressing scene in the whole movie involves Sydney and Manny together in a moment where Manny, without giving too much away, Manny is already foregone his identity as a Mexican in order to progress and succeed in Hollywood. He's sacrificed his culture, and he's asking the black musician to do the same in order to get ahead. And it's a moment where both are at a precipice in their career.
Yeah.
So I think they actually become the most important characters in the whole film. But I agree with you with the Sydney character. He's probably not as utilized as he probably should be, but I still found him to be one of the most important characters.
Yeah, but he's just not. But is he though? He doesn't share screen time with just about any of the other cast members except for Manny. He doesn't. They give you no indication about the success of his projects except by the fact that they keep making them.
But
nice. But there's literally no background to him at all. So there's no. I just found that to be really weird. I also found it weird. If you go back and think about it, Margot Robbie and Brad Pitt share the screen once, or maybe twice, but they don't acknowledge each other in any of the other scenes, even though they're in the same room. I don't think they were ever there together, except for that one scene where she kisses him in front of his new fiancée wife or something, and then disappears.
Yep.
Is very very odd.
But I kind of feel like each of these characters had their own trajectories. I don't think they were supposed to cross paths, and I think the way that the jazz musician's character was treated was very much a reflection of his place in the system at that time. That he was kind of disregarded and on the fringes and sort of not really let in too much. But I don't know. I think we should wrap this up in a second because it's a frustrating video, technically speaking. I don't know what you're doing right now. You're about 5 minutes behind in video, but possibly up to date in audio.
Yeah, well, I just think that yes, okay, maybe career-wise he's on the periphery. There's no reason for him to be on the periphery in the music. He doesn't disappear the minute the camera stops rolling. It's just a bit of a disappointment there. And I get it, the movie's already free. I mean, maybe stop spending so much time on the parties and a bit more time on the characters. That's my kind of major critique of a 3-hour film. How is that possible?
Oh, well, I mean, the 3 hours could have been all party for as far as I'm concerned, and I would have been there hook, line, and sinker. I was just wrapped up in the spectacle.
Yeah.
Well, maybe when the show returns in March, we can revisit it in conversation and see if our attitude towards it have changed. Either I've lost a little bit of my eagerness, and maybe you've gained a little.
Well, look, I mean, that's not to say that I didn't enjoy the film and think it was good. And I think we'll be talking about it come Oscar time, regardless of its critical savaging and box office floppiness, which I think often go hand in hand. After the fact. But I would be interested to talk about this again.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely the second it hits home entertainment. I'm gonna snap it up and give it another go. Alrighty, mate. Thanks for that. Good luck with the text. Your eyes are closed now. You've just frozen. I can't even hear you now. What was that?
I said, are you going to pick it up in 4K with Atmos sound?
Oh, mate, you know it. Dolby Atmos. For sure. No, legitimately, yes, definitely. Signing off, Glenn and Ben for the Good Movie Monday podcast. I'll see you in better video form next time, mate.
Yeah, fingers crossed.